Hey guys, my name is Brandon and welcome to or welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you like what you see in here, you're more than welcome to hit the subscribe button so you stay notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, let's get straight on with today's video. Hey everyone and welcome back to Is That More Brandon. So in today's video I'm going to be doing a review to the 9th episode of Celebrity Big Brother. So without further ado, let us find out what has happened next. At the beginning of the episode, David woke up and obviously started singing. He had a lot of energy, so he straight away was obviously waking everyone else up. And Louis at 9:32 in the morning basically told him to shut up and obviously stop singing. Coulson explained to Fern that he thought they were going to have a good day. And Louis basically said to Lauren that obviously one of them was obviously going to be evicted. And you have to remember, this is before Lauren did get evicted. So we found out in the previous episode that Lauren was evicted from the show. But I guess this is minutes before, or maybe like an hour before. And then Lauren also said to Louis, or I think Louis said to Lauren, that David is not normal. David came to the diary room and he basically just said, sometimes you might sing one vocal of a song or you might do some singing, and then Louis obviously tells you to quieten down. And he said he probably thinks that Louis has heard so many people singing that he obviously just doesn't want to hear it anymore. And Louis asked Ekin-Su if she could help him shut the two people up in the hoodies, i.e. David and Bradley, obviously singing and dancing and all things like that. And then they obviously saw Nikita sleeping, and Louis hinted to Ekin whether she would be interested in him or not. And she said, he's a nice looking guy, but he's in a relationship, and obviously I'm respectful of that. And then Louis asked which of her partners she loved the most, and she basically said, I can't say. So it could have been any of the ones that she's been with, but she basically said she's only had 5 boyfriends in her life. Nikita, Coulson, Ekin-Su were all sitting outside, doing some sort of workout in the garden, and I think they were kind of saying like a magical phrase or something like that. So I think Coulson as a joke said to Ekin, oh, why don't we have some kind of like Love Island phrases and things like that. And then they both started doing the voice, and she was like, no, let's not do that. And then I think Nikita tried to call out for David to come out, and Ekin was like, what, David, what? Because obviously that was the name of her previous partner, Davide. And obviously Nikita didn't obviously know that. I guess he doesn't watch Love Island. So yeah, he didn't know of that. And yeah, Fern asked Louis, or she said to Louis that she'd love to meet Kate Middleton. Louis said that he's obviously met her at the flower show. And Sharon said, imagine if the crown or, you know, the titles or whatever would have obviously gone to Meghan instead. Louis said that she's basically a bad actress. And Fern hopes that Harry's going to make it up with William and do what he's good at doing in terms of serving the country and being there for people and things like that. Bradley had clearly just come out of the shower. David scared him in the bathroom. And Levi was doing a little gym session with some of the girls, Marisha, Ekin-Su, Fern and Lauren. Sharon was also talking to some of the boys, Coulson, Bradley and Nikita, about her initial bond and connection with Freddie Mercury, saying that his friend used to buy jeans from somewhere that she used to work, and then I guess that's where she met him, and then obviously that's where they got their connection in the industry. And Sharon said to Louis, Ekin-Su and Lauren that if she was to go home, because obviously this was now her final day in the Big Brother house, she's going to go home, see her daughter, see her kids, grandkids, and just obviously relax. Nikita, Bradley and Coulson all came to the diary room together, and Nikita said that they were all spending their last moments here with Sharon in the house, and that Sharon had basically promised all of them to text her, and then she would obviously text them back so she has their number. And Coulson said as a joke he'd probably say hi, it's Coulson, and he'd never actually get a reply from Sharon. And then Zizi and Marisha were having a quick chat about things like culture, and she basically said that she used to get called duck lips when she was at school, and now it looks like she's obviously had her lips done, when actually I guess it's just her natural lips. And she said she's not pretending like this is part of her culture, this is just how she is, and this is just how she goes about her life. And Marisha basically said that, you know, Beyonce with blonde hair, it's almost like it's unnatural to see a black girl with blonde hair. So she was like, oh, obviously, you know, she said something about that in terms of like coming with the times, or it's just how she wanted to be, or something along the lines of that. But again, there was a lot of judgment there purely because of the colour of her hair. And yeah, the fact that she tried something that was trendy. Louis, Sharon and Ekin-Su were all having a chat, and Ekin basically said that she finds Gary Barlow really, really cute. Obviously, he's in a happy relationship. And then Lauren came to the diary room saying that Sharon's a lot more gorgeous than she thought she would be. She got involved a lot and obviously was doing cleaning and, you know, things like that. And she also said that Louis is really, really funny. He's outrageous. Ekin basically asked Sharon who's been rude to her, and she said there's been lots of bad people, but you just kind of let go of those situations rather than, you know, giving them that 5 minutes of fame. And then Ekin Su said that usually people that are difficult, or usually people that are, you know, difficult to get on with, are usually people that have had problems in the past. And then Sharon basically said it's either one of two things, either resentment or jealousy. So resenting someone else, or resenting something that they have or haven't done in their life, or being jealous of someone. And I guess that's why you would have some sort of disagreement or argument with someone. So yeah, that's quite a nice little life fact there. Louis explained to Sharon that Jason from Take That seems to have disappeared, asking what happened of him. They're all really, really nice boys, and he kind of just seemed to be there, obviously all getting a little bit older. And then Marisha had a chat with Zizi, saying that the original Kris Jenner was Sharon Osbourne. She was the one that kind of brought her family into the fame, and then I guess that's when the Kardashians and Jenners came out afterwards. And then Zizi told Marisha that obviously she thanks Sharon for saving her in the eviction, and that Sharon is her style inspiration. And then Sharon did a little catwalk, so she came up with an animal hat and a pink cape, so she was kind of like parading down the bedroom. So some of the comments that she had from other housemates, Ekin was basically saying, "You're killing it," and David was saying that Sharon has actually been wearing his jacket. And then obviously just before Sharon left, there was one final leaving party for Sharon. So there was scones, jam, cream, and strawberries. And she basically said, "This is my favourite, how lovely, may all of your dreams come true." And then I guess a few of the housemates had their kind of, you know, analysing the time in their house with Sharon, and obviously some of their thoughts about her. So Fern basically said, obviously Sharon has navigated a full life of excellence and excitement, and she's obviously tremendously well loved in and outside of the Big Brother house. Nikita says she's kind of the mother that they all count on. She's genuine, she's kind, and they're all going to miss her dearly. Marisha said that there have been many preconceptions about Sharon, but her energy will be missed. Zizi thanked her again for saving her from the nomination and the kind words that she's obviously going to treasure for the rest of her life. And Louis said it's been an amazing week with a lot of people. She's been a great mother and a great mentor, and he doesn't want her to leave. And then Sharon basically said she's had a lot of fun, and she didn't think she would have got on with 11 strangers, and she hopes that they can all stay in touch. And then we saw Lauren styling Nikita's hair, saying she's glad that, you know, her hairdressing skills have come into force, and there's not one look that he hasn't got going on, because he just looks really good, and he kind of looks a bit like a young David Beckham. Fern and Marisha were talking about kids. So Fern basically said that she, you know, when she was having kids, she was trying to like remember the names of her kids, and for her it's obviously going to be exciting to pass that on. And she said that she had her first child at 37, then at 40, and then at 44. And Marisha is obviously as of now the age of 38, and she said it's still time for her to have kids. Fern was having a chat with David, Zizi and Brad about Fern's little flower competition where she had to grow potatoes at home in order to obviously win a garden show. She didn't win, and she also said that her lemon curd didn't win because she had the wrong shaped jar for her jelly, which I guess is a very specific thing to be penalised for, but I guess sometimes, you know, the shapes of the ingredients are the most important. Levi said to Louis he doesn't want him to go, and Marisha asked Louis how he felt, and he basically said that he's anxious, and she basically replied and said, "You want to stay," as if like, "Do you want to stay?" And he goes, "Yeah, I want to stay a little bit longer." She basically said that layers with people start unfolding the more that you obviously get to know them. And Levi said to Louis he needs to write more than 3 lines in his apology letter the next time he has to go to the wheelie bin for speaking about nominations. So I guess a bit of a joke there towards him and Lauren, because obviously their apology letter before wasn't great. So yeah, a nice little jab there from Levi. And then Fern and Lauren were speaking to Bradley, and Fern basically was discussing Sharon's outfit, because they were obviously sitting there waiting for the eviction, and Fern basically said, you can kind of wear Chanel forever, and without actually including any of the jewellery that she was wearing, her outfit was probably just under £10,000. And Sharon said to Marisha that Louis likes the attention. And then we kind of had like a recap of the previous evening. So obviously Lauren was the second person to get eliminated. Sharon obviously got eliminated as well because she was the house lodger, so she was obviously taken from the house. And Levi basically said to Louis that he was happy to hear something nice from Sharon, with Louis basically saying that she's spoken very well about the both of you, to obviously him and Nikita, because I think Nikita joined the conversation here. And he basically said, look, if either of you need Sharon's number, just let me know, I'll give it to you. What she said about the both of you is genuine. Levi said that he's glad Louis was saved, and he basically said he doesn't want to be nominated again. Take note, as if like, you know, don't vote me again because I don't want to be up there. And then Fern came to the diary room saying that she thought she was definitely going to be going. She said goodbye to her bed and packed everything up. And Ekin also said to Nikita that what Sharon said about him was completely spot on. He has good energy and she can trust him when she says something to him. So obviously Nikita was very thankful there as well. A nice little moment in the bedroom. And then up next was a game of jelly bean roulette. So what they had to do is eat a jelly bean. If it tasted nice, they had a nice question to answer. If it tasted sour, they had a bit of a controversial question to answer. And Zizi basically said to everyone before the game, nobody take it personal, it is just a game. So Bradley was up first. He had a sweet, so a nice tasting sweet. So he was asked who the most real housemate was in the house. He said David, because he can trust him with a lot. David was asked who was the most attractive. He said Fern. She's gorgeous on the outside, but obviously what's most important is on the inside, and what's on the inside for her is pure. And she basically said, look, you're a great lion. And she was like, well, thank you anyway. So I guess maybe she doesn't believe him, but she accepted the compliment anyway. Marisha also had a nice sweet, so she was able to ask who was the most honest housemate, and she said Levi, because obviously it isn't a bad bone in his body, he's honest and he's vulnerable. And then the first person to have a bad sweet was Zizi, so hers obviously didn't taste very nice, and her question was who is the least trustworthy in the house. She said Louis, because she sees him having secret conversations or little conversations with other people, and she's wary of people that speak about other people, which I guess is a genuine feeling to have. If you're seeing people whispering about other people, you know you're going to be whispered about. Fern also had a bad sweet. She was asked who the laziest housemate was, and she basically said, well, Louis basically replied straight away and said me, and she goes, oh, go on, and why? And she basically said, look, he's either sitting there, having a chat with whoever. So she basically agreed with him, saying, yeah, you are the laziest. Up next was Coulson. Again, he had a bad sweet. He was asked who the biggest game player was, and he said that he feels like everyone in here is being 100% true to themselves, but I feel like there's someone in here for different reasons to other people. Louis, basically saying he's kind of gone through it all, he's been through the industry, things like that. Everyone else in there hasn't, so he just voted Louis on the basis of that. Levi was asked to vote who the most boring housemate was, and Levi basically said before yesterday's event, the whole singing competition thing, he was going to say Coulson, but I guess as of now, he doesn't feel like anyone is boring. And then Fern basically said to Coulson and Nikita that he hasn't made anyone bored in the house, as if like saying, you know, just kind of disregard what Levi's just said. And then a few minutes after the task, Coulson was sitting in the toilet, kind of having a little cry to himself. And he basically just said, I need to work this out. And then you saw Nikita kind of walk in, kind of waiting for him outside. And then Bradley also walked in as well, waiting for him to come out of the bathroom. Marisha asked Levi and Ekin-Su if they were actually going to make it to Friday. And Bradley said to Nikita he was going to try and reunite the Wash Boys, with Nikita adding, it's one person's opinion, you know, just kind of disregard it and think about all the other people that actually love you in here. Ekin-Su basically said to Marisha and Levi that she kind of had a realisation that when someone is nominated, they usually act a lot nicer, and Marisha said, well, basically by that point, it's a little bit too late. And with her, she's not doing any sort of gameplay. She just does things to be nice. And then Ekin-Su said if someone's being too nice, she can see that it's fake. She has already been on a TV show, and she's kind of a good judge of character as well. Louis explained to Coulson that he had 3 votes, and he doesn't really care. And he's glad that Coulson is sensitive and told him not to change. And then as a joke, Coulson said, yeah, you even got 1 vote from me. So he kind of was like, just gave him a little slap. And Louis basically said about Levi's comment to Coulson that he didn't mean it, especially not from him. The fact that, you know, it was just a nice off comment. Like, it was kind of a backhanded compliment to say, you know, you kind of were boring, but actually, no, you're not. But I guess the fact that he said he was boring before the talent show is obviously going to make Coulson a little bit nervous or a bit shy or whatever. yeah, Marisha in the task, just after the task, said she's glad she got a nice sweet. And then obviously while they were all sitting outside, Levi just looked over to Colson and said, look, I'm sorry about the comment, with Fern just getting ready for bed, doing a little cheers to Lauren for obviously being eliminated. Colson then came to the diary room and said that he's feeling good and he's having fun. Everyone is very confident and sure of who they are, and he is too. But I guess when people say that he's boring, it kind of brings up doubts about himself back from the past. And he said he didn't think being in the Big Brother house was actually going to be this hard. So I guess this kind of episode was a little bit more dramaless. There wasn't really that much drama. It was more just they were all kind of doing their little jelly bean challenge, and I guess some of the truth came out. So I think the most dramatic thing in that episode was just Levi calling Colson boring before the singing competition, and obviously Colson getting a little bit upset from that as well. So yeah, that was it for Thursday's episode. So that was it for Wednesday's episode. If you did enjoy, don't forget to like, comment, chat and subscribe. Like I said, as of now, there are now only 10 housemates left. So it'll be interesting to see who stays and who goes next. So until my next review, thank you for watching, and until then, goodbye.